Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the most expensive team you can run in the Open Ultra League. And if you've seen it, I'm gonna have a little bit of a channel update here real quick. I haven't uploaded in the last 4 or 5 days, and why this is so interesting for some YouTubers is like normal or whatever. I have been uploading on this channel daily, I think, since the start of 2020. It is 2026 now. I think 2021 is actually where I really started uploading daily without failing a single day. And now I haven't uploaded for 5 days. And what's the reason for this? Am I done with YouTube? Am I done with this year? No, I'm not. I am absolutely not done. I want to do more content. I want to go back where I was before as well. I just had like a little bit of a family emergency, and that is basically it, which is still not fully resolved yet at this point. So there might still be a little bit of inconsistencies in uploading for the upcoming few days or whatever. But as soon as that's gonna be fixed, everything is gonna be back to normal. It's not because of anything, out of that sort. It is what it is. So yeah. Definitely stay tuned for more content on this channel, especially towards the new season. I'm very excited for that one. There's no reason for me, or like no thing for me to kind of go a little bit lower in terms of uploading and in terms of content on YouTube. I'm very excited still for what I'm doing and how I can do it, and I'm very thankful for having you around here. So again, sorry for not being able to upload in like 5 days now, but it is what it is. We're going to take a look here today though at a very interesting team. We're going to have a team here that is going to be the most expensive of them all. Why is that the case? So, we gotta start off with my first Pokemon, Registeel, a Pokemon that you haven't really seen in ages actually. It was at one point the best Pokemon in the Ultra League, it was at one point the best Pokemon in the Great League, but then it got nerfed quite significantly. It was at one point that Zapcan was guaranteed dropped the opponent's attack, and with this it just makes this Pokemon insanely overpowered and very, very bulky. But this got changed to, I think, now a 30% chance or whatever. Like, it's not close at all anymore to what it was before. And this changed the usage of this Pokemon, but it's still very tanky, still very strong, has only nuke moves, and is a Pokemon that I feel like is absolutely underrated in both Great as well as Ultra League. So, otherwise, what do we have here? The Say-Sub of Deoxys. This Pokemon was at one point as well one of the strongest Pokemon for the Ultra League, if not the strongest Pokemon at one point as well for the Ultra League, to the point that if you had it, it was kind of like a cheat code. This all changed with the counter nerf. But again, those two Pokemon actually have to be on the team here today. Why? Because we are taking a look at the most expensive team. And here we're going to have two legendary Pokemon that require XL Candy in order to be powered up for this specific meta. And this is kind of here already for each of them. I think it's around like $80 or something in order to buy those Pokemon, in order to get those XL Candy. And that is just kind of interesting. It's something that maybe, you wouldn't really see too much in the Ultra League nowadays anymore, because there's basically no legendary like this anymore, in existence at least. So yeah, it is what it is. Here, this is going to be the most too expensive Pokemon. And then we have Mewtwo. Why Mewtwo? Is because there's not really another legendary Pokemon that needs XL Candy for the Ultra League, other than Uxie, I would say, is one of them. But I had a Uxie build, but it wasn't really fully XL, so I was like, there's no real point. Like, it cost me €0 in order to, or like $0 in order to build this Pokemon. The same goes, of course, for Mewtwo. That's my Mewtwo that I caught. But the main reason why I decided to go ahead and put the armored Mewtwo in here is because the Pokemon is insanely rare. And what is actually happening is, if you go on eBay, people are selling armored Mewtwo in Pokemon GO for like $50, $60 online, just in order to trade it over to a different account. And that is kind of ridiculous if you ask me. But it is kind of why we have a total of around $200 team here, because of the rates you need for the Registeel as well as the Deoxys. And then if you haven't been playing Pokemon GO in ages, then, or like if you only started basically recently or then didn't play ages ago, you won't have the armored Mewtwo. And if you want to get this Pokemon, you would need to, do most likely illegal things. The easiest way of getting this Pokemon, by the way, for yourself, and the only way I would recommend you to get this Pokemon for yourself at the current time, go to your local community. A lot of players are playing this game for very, very long. They're going to have some out Mewtwo's. They're very likely going to ask for like a little bit of a higher trade price, like in terms of Pokemon back for you, but that's way more reasonable and way more like legal and better, and like you can't get scammed online or shit like this. Like I don't really would condone with any of this kind of stuff on eBay, I don't really think that's kind of good at all, because at the end of the day, you're always going to give away your account data or something like this if you want to buy there. That's way too risky. I would never do that if I was you. So again, I would recommend you to go ahead and ask your local community if you want to have an armored Mewtwo, because this Pokemon is actually, I think, the strongest out of all the three of them here. I guess it kind of ties towards with the Registeel, because this team here actually, well, we just talked about why this is the most expensive, it's actually not bad. It's really not bad. I actually had a lot of fun with this team, and it was also actually a fantastic team to run, because what you have here is 3 super bulky legendary / mythical Pokemon that are all having some kind of benefit towards it. Here, Armored Mewtwo, look at this. We are in a shield positive scenario, which is amazing. But we're going to go up now against Skeldurge, and I can just utilize the amazing coverage that the Mewtwo has here as well. Psystalk is a very strong move, and with Confusion buff recently, Mewtwo is so much stronger. Dynamic Punch only got recently buffed as well, which is going to be a great coverage move. But here against a Pokemon like the Skeldurge, you can even just go for one Confusion, go for the Psystrike, get the shield, I can go for another Confusion, and I am going to be able to use a shield here again, which is now going to allow us to take the hit there. We're going to see the sub out into the Feraligatr. I'm very certain that my Armored Mewtwo is even going to be able to survive this hit here as well, which it does, and we can now move on to the next opponent, where we're going to have Ampharos. Ampharos is a Pokemon that can actually be quite difficult for this team. It depends on what kind of moveset it's going to run here. Because it has, like, of course, electric type coverage here, just in the lead, it's going to be quite neutral, but it has most of the times Brutal Swing and Trailblaze as a moveset. We saw here though already that this Pokemon is running currently the move Thunder Punch, a move that is quite cheap, but also it's a move that we are going to be able to take a little bit easier here on our Deoxys. And as we have an ABB style line, we kind of want to swap out if possible, but we're sadly going to get out a Pokemon that I don't really like to see, Goliath Support. This Pokemon is going to be very difficult for us, as we're going to have a double, Psychic type of backline. This is going to be a bit of a tough one for us. But as you guys see as well, the Psycho Boost is coming through. This is going to be something that we at least are going to get a little bit lower with that now. But yeah, we put them now into range where maybe even the Psystrike is going to be enough after a few confusions. Like, at least that's going to be a positive part of it. But yeah, maybe we can actually knock them out here. That would be absolutely fantastic. Now let's see. We're going to have the side cannon coming through. We're going to see the shield coming from the opponent. And now it's the question, do I invest 2 shields on my Registeel, or do I try to win with my other Pokemon, with my Mewtwo? And I decided to go ahead and catch the move onto the Mewtwo, because this is, funnily enough, one of the best matchups I can imagine. Cobalion's fast move and the main charge move is going to be resisted on Mewtwo, while Mewtwo, on the other hand, has access to the move Dynamic Punch, doing super effective damage against the opponent, and we can take a Stone Edge like quite easily here. The issue is though that this is very likely not going to be enough to knock them out yet. This Dynamic Punch is going to be getting them low though, and I can go for a full farm down, because at this point they're very likely just going to have access to the Thunder Punch, which I would still survive from this range guaranteed. And in comes Goliath Support anyway, allowing me to swap out into my Registeel, knocking them out here. I still have a move start on my other Pokemon. The opponent is very, very low, and I was able to set them up perfectly for us to win this battle. There's nothing I can do anymore. We are going to be able to take this hit, but I still have a charge move stored against the opponent. Thunder Punch is coming through, and we can go for the Psystrike to finish up this battle. And this was a very long battle number 4. That's the thing as well here today. Battles are quite long. We have a very bulky team, but we have a very strong team. Like, that's the thing as well. I enjoyed playing this team quite a lot. I had a lot of fun with this team here. It's a team that just is so easy to play, actually, even though like a lot of the Pokemon are not as strong anymore as they were back in the day. But honestly, for good reason. Like, if Registeel was still as strong as it was the few seasons back, I would have not been happy. Like, I would have not been enjoying that one at all. But like, this is going to be actually very like nice and neutral Pokemon. Like, it's a Pokemon that honestly was, in my opinion, the best of this team. I liked Registeel the most out of this team. I think it was the strongest Pokemon. Well, on paper, maybe Mewtwo is maybe a little bit stronger currently. Registeel is honestly such an underrated Pokemon. It's a Pokemon that has been around for ages, but like nobody's using it anymore. And honestly, it is not for good reason. Like, this Pokemon is still absolutely fantastic. As you see as well, like, how many charge moves did we take from the opponent? They now shield down, and in comes the Gust Out, which is actually kind of funny because I like that we got this Pokemon out of here. We're not in the worst scenario here at all, even though it's Dark type against our Psychic type Pokemon, because we have counter on our Deoxys. In hindsight, I would have mostly recommended to you to go for a Rock Slide over the Thunderbolt, which is a bit of a rookie mistake, but I just went for whatever moves that I had because I don't have a lot of charge TMs. I, by the way, haven't been playing the game at all. Like, I haven't really touched Pokemon GO at all for like the last 5-6 days, so this is like the only battles I really did. I will play again a bit more when I have the time saved. But of course, if you didn't know as well, like, I'm now a daughter of a very tiny little girl, and she needs a lot of attention, and currently it's just a bit tough with time, and that's why currently YouTube is a bit on the back foot. But honestly, I have a lot of plans for the new season. I have a lot of plans also for a new format as well. Again, I have a lot of interesting things coming up for this channel, so definitely stay tuned. Like I actually have a lot of very good ideas, I think, for this channel, so especially for the next season. I'm very excited to show you what's coming up here on this channel as well. I hope that Pokemon GO is changing a little bit as well in the meantime. Like, we're expecting at least a Go Battle League update still, eventually, because it's interlude season, like this season. But as you're gonna see as well, the opponent goes for Moonblast against us, which is fine. We are going to have our Registeel still. We have the Zap Cannon spam here. Can we still win this battle? I doubt we can, because the opponent, still going to outspeed us here. And while we got the attack drop for the first time here, it's going to be sadly a loss. But we can move on to the next opponent, where we start off against Pangoro. Pangoro is a Pokemon that, it's going to be a bit awkward here for us, because we have a team that's triple weak to it. So let's see if we're going to be able to bounce back from this one. My voice, by the way, still cracks a little bit. I hope that this is going to be better as well soon. I thought it actually was fine, but I haven't been recording for ages, so it's a little bit more different for that one. Well, you're going to see the Zapdos going up against the Deoxys defense. You're going to be able to go for the Psycho Boost spam as well against the opponent. And here comes the Registeel, which is going to be able to take a hit here from them as well. This is going to be a Thunderbolt coming through, doing some solid damage from us against us here. But in comes again the Pangoro. I am not in a good spot here at all, and this battle is actually going to be kind of funny, so definitely stay tuned for that one. We're going to have, the opponent, they need to go for the close combat. Night Chest is not going to be enough, so they go for the close combat here, which means now that, though, I am going to be able to go for the super effective counter, which is now going up against the double debuffed opponent's Pangoro, but they get the attack boost here, which is really unfortunate, because it actually changes a lot in this matchup, because I don't get the damage in that I want to, and they get another one straight away afterwards, and that is going to be very, very tough, because now I don't have my Deoxys with all my energy. I have only my Armored Mewtwo against the Talonflame, and while this is not the worst matchup, I needed just the extra damage from the Deoxys. If I had Deoxys still alive, I would have won this battle very likely, because I had a Psycho Boost stored there. I just need to go for the Psycho Boost, get either the shield or the damage in, and I would have been able to knock them out with another Side Strike here. But I was not allowed to do that because of 2 back-to-back boosts on the Pangoro. Unfortunate, but it is what it is, and we can move on now to the next opponent. Second to last battle, again. Thanks so much for watching on this video again. I hope everything is going to be fine with YouTube. That's like the thing as well, which I always kind of worried about. Like, if you take a little bit of a break, YouTube, are you going to punish me? I have no idea. If you're still watching at this point, and if you enjoy the content on this channel, and if you want to support me, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a like here. And let me know down below what kind of content you want to see. Like, I am always looking forward to these suggestions, like especially like towards content for the new season already. I feel like I kind of want to take a look at some of the potential move updates. But, yeah, like stay tuned for a lot of content coming up on this channel again as well. We have a new Pokemon coming out very soon as well. The High Zapitude event is coming up there. But we have to unlock, I think, the Kilowatt Troll first, so that's going to be a bit of an interesting one. But there's a lot coming up. We have the Grookey Community Day next week as well, which is going to be quite a bad community day, just generally speaking. So, yeah, stay tuned for the channel. Feel free to subscribe, feel free to follow. I'm very sorry that I couldn't do what I usually do on this channel here, but yeah, as you can see, there's going to be the Corviknight up against us. I'm going to see the Air Cutter coming through. This is going to be like a little bit of the awkward scenario here. With Corviknight, we actually are Grant with our lead, especially with our Registeel, but in this scenario here, I need to get the damage up against them. Thunderbolt is the only move that's super effective here, is the left cannon that we have as an option. It's going to be stronger than the Dynamic Punch from the Armored Mewtwo. And they support into the Zygarde, and I was like, I take this as an opportunity to just go into my Mewtwo and try to keep the energy on my Deoxys for later on, because they're apparently very weak to Deoxys if they do what they're doing so far. In comes the Outrage, and in comes also the Empoleon, which kind of allows me just to go for the Dynamic Punch against the opponent, which is going to be fine, which is going to allow us to get some damage in. And let's see what the opponent's going to do next here. We're going to have the Charge Move coming through from the opponent. It is going to be, at the end of the day, the Hydro Cannon coming in. It is going to do some sort of damage. And as we see here, we have another Charge Move loading up against the opponent. 1 HP and a Dream. In comes the Corviknight. We can counter them down, and we are going to be able to get the KO against the opponent with a Psycho Boost. This is the safest way to go, and we can move on to the final opponent of today's video. So yeah, what's the opponent for you for the most expensive team for the Ultra League? I already took a look at the most expensive team for the Open Great League, I think. Or as it was Master League? I think it was Master League, actually. I don't know, is there even an expensive team for Great League? I don't think there is, actually. Like, there's a fully XL team that you can run, but like, that's basically it. So yeah, this is going to be interesting one. We're going to be able to go ahead and go for another charge move here. This is going to be Side Strike against the opponent's Gastron. Of course, I love Gastron here because I don't want to have this Pokemon at all against my Registeel. And I make a bit of a mistake. I should have went for the charge move here at least, but I went to, yeah, I was a bit too greedy. They survived with 1 HP. I just went for a move earlier. I would have not used the shield here, and this would have helped me out quite a bit in this matchup. As in comes now the opponent's Florges. At least we have alignment, which I like because I have counter on my other Pokemon. I don't want to have my counter user up against it. But I can even go for another Side Strike here, which is actually kind of great. Like, this gives me a lot of pressure against the opponent, and I'm going to be able to just go ahead and go for the Registeel now. This Pokemon is going to be able to take any hit anyway, like no matter what they have. They don't have Fire type coverage or Fighting type coverage or Ground type coverage. So we have Fine here. Chilling Waters doing nothing. In comes Belly Bolt. And I just didn't know on how to deal with this Pokemon. Belly Bolt is so funny because it's actually kind of something that you would expect to be not as great anymore, as Belly Bolt's Parabolic Charge got nerfed quite significantly. And so I didn't really expect it with the team as well. To be fair, I did play build the team here around the specific Pokemon that cost money, but not so much about if they fit together that well. It was funny because this team actually worked out really, really well together. But yeah, this is just a Pokemon that I can currently not really break through. Like Zapcon is coming through here, doing a lot of damage against me. I can keep my move still for later on, but at the end of the day, this Focus Blast is barely going to touch the opponent's Belly Bolt, and they're just going to be able to knock me out now. And so, yeah, this is going to be it for this video. At the end of the day, Belly Bolt was a bit too strong for the super expensive team here. Let me know down below what we're going to take a look at next, and yeah, see you then. Bye-bye.